Hi, welcome to Relish Books. Today I'm just doing a quick what I'm reading update. So what reviews you can be expecting from me soon. So first of all, the main thing that I'm working on this week is The Loving Spirit by Daphne du Maurier. I figured it was time to pick up my quest again of reading all of Daphne du Maurier's novels. I started Hungry Hill quite a long time ago. That was the last one I was working on. And I was just really, really not into it. And I took a break from it. And the thought of finishing it is still kind of discouraging to me. So instead of trying to pick that up again and being discouraged, I figured I would just start fresh with a new one for right now. So I started this one. I'm about probably close to a third of the way through. And she seems to have, in a couple of her books now that I've read, she likes to do this multi-generational kind of story where you're getting the perspective of these different family members through a few or a couple hundred years. And reading something like that is different, and it can be nice for variety. I do not generally like that point of view, though, that style, because you get kind of wrapped up in one character's life and then they're gone and it moves on to a new person, and by the time you get kind of interested in their life, then they move on. It just doesn't, it's not very cohesive to me. I forget what it was called. Which one was that? I'm forgetting what it's called right now, but the one about the family during like kind of the French Revolution time period. Oh, The Glassblowers, that was it. That one was pretty good. I did enjoy that. Kind of because, too, it was an overlapping. The family members were, like, still mostly alive by the end, even though the focus had shifted some. So, I don't know. I like that one. This one is interesting because I've been fairly gripped from the beginning. Like, it's interesting enough. It's keeping me reading, but I'm not really enjoying it, if that makes sense. But I don't think I'm going to have too difficult a time finishing it. I feel like I'd have to double check. I feel like if I remember right, this was one of her earlier books. I could be wrong about that. I'll definitely research it more when I go to actually review it. But I feel like it is one of her earlier ones, and that would explain why the writing's a little bit more, it's a little cringy at times. But working on that one. I went ahead and included this in the what I'm reading, even though I finished this book this morning, so I'm not going to say anything about what I actually thought about it, because that review will be coming out shortly. But The Ocean at the End of the Lane by Neil Gaiman. Someone had commented that this was like their favorite Neil Gaiman book, and I thought about reading it for a long time and hadn't got around to it because, again, he's a hit or miss author. Some of his stuff is great and some of it's really not great. So I just read that and I'll be talking about that one very soon. This one is for the book club that my sisters and I are doing. I just started it, don't really know anything about it or anything about the author or if it's going to be any good or not, but it is Art and Faith by Makoto Fujimura, if I'm saying his name right. Probably not. But it is nonfiction. We don't usually read nonfiction in our book club, but this was the pick, so I am reading that. Maybe it'll be interesting. If I really like it and it's really interesting, I'll review it on here. Otherwise, I probably won't because I don't usually talk about nonfiction, but I am reading that. And then, of course, Harry Potter. I mentioned before, I'm on my third reread of the complete Harry Potter series. So I'm on book 5. And when I start reading Harry Potter, it's really hard for me to read anything else. I want to just be reading that. So I am not starting this one. I'm going to try to not start this until after I finish a couple other things. So that it doesn't distract me. But I'm on book 5 of the Harry Potters, and then I'm going to be reviewing them. I did number 1, number 2 I'll be doing shortly. This book I picked up because I've been seeing the author's name a lot over the last few years, and that's usually a very bad sign for me in a lot of modern writing. You start seeing big names where the name is like bigger than the title. That's a red flag. Stuff that's prominently advertised at bookstores. Usually, I'm not at all interested in those authors, but I don't know. I kind of wanted to give her a try because I've been wanting to read her book, The Great Alone, because it's set in Alaska, and I live in Alaska. And Alaskan fiction is usually really poor. Alaska is a exciting place to set a story, I think. Some people think, and then they usually end up being really bad. Or the ones that I've tried to read. There's a lot of really great Alaskan nonfiction, but especially more modern. There's some good older stuff, but especially more modern fiction that's like Alaskan fiction, especially by Alaskans, is really bad. So I've been wanting to read that book, The Great Alone. I'm a little less inclined to read it now though, because I found out, I was like, oh, The Great Alone is that's like a really good title for an Alaskan book. And then come to find out, she took that title from a much older book that's also set in Alaska. I hate it when authors steal their titles. And two, to steal it from another book. Because it's one thing when the title of books, like so many book titles, are quotations from other writings, other books, phrases, whatever. And those, that at least makes sense. But to just take the title of another book, I really don't like. And I don't think it's a retelling of the same story at all. I haven't done a ton of research on it. But, yeah, I think she just took the title. So I don't like that. But anyway, all that to say, the author is Kristen Hanna. A lot of her books everywhere right now. So I just want to see if she's any good. I got this one at the library because I went to check out The Great Alone and they didn't have it, and they had this, Firefly Lane. So I just read like the first page, and so far the first page was enough for me to be like, okay, that could be interesting. I have no idea if it's just garbage. I won't finish it and I won't review it, but maybe it'll be good. Maybe it'll be really great, and then I'll go on to read all her books. You never know. I'm not gonna discount an author just because they're new and popular, although, like I said, that is often, for me, a bad sign. But anyway, those are the books that I'm working on right now this week. And so I will be reviewing some of them very soon. Yeah, so thanks so much for watching. I will see you next time. Bye.